We got a big show coming talking Cavs. We're talking Browns. We got Kelly Holcomb making his debut. We're going to talk to Deshaun Watson in 1 sec. But first, we have a FanDuel ticket. We need to show you guys our biggest winner to date. And as always, FanDuel is America's number one sports book. If you're going to be gambling on any action, NFL, MLB, NBA, you better be doing it with FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. So if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action than right now. The app is easy to use with a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and much, much more. So visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL, an official partner of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. And check out this winning ticket from Pickle Nick, who turned $5 into $1,054 on an 11-part same-game parlay on the Chargers-Lions game this weekend. He had Austin Eckler anytime touchdown, St. Brown anytime touchdown, Herbert over 250 passing yards, Goff over 250 passing yards, Keenan Allen over 60 receiving yards, St. Brown over 60 receiving yards, Sam Laporta, who got over 40 receiving yards on the 4th and 2 call that sealed the game, came down to the very last play, plus Jahmyr Gibbs 40 rushing yards, plus David Montgomery 40 rushing yards, plus Justin Herbert 2 passing touchdowns, plus Austin Eckler 40 receiving yards. $5 into $1,054 for our guy.
You know what the best part about this ticket is? The best part about this ticket is he won fantasy 127 to 106. Did you see that at the top?
He also won fantasy?
He won fantasy. Look at it. You can see it in the top. See, it's that.
Oh, he did win fantasy as well.
The new iPhone keeps your update right there at the top. He won 127.
By the way, God bless you for being able
that boy had a day. Woo!
He made 210 times his money there.
That's fantastic. That really I think he sent that one. Did he send that one to all of us? Because someone else won big this weekend.
He just tagged. We had a couple big winners. We showed one yesterday. We're going to keep showcasing these throughout the week. If you have a winning FanDuel ticket, please send it our way.
Did you guys see the cat that bet $500,000?
And $5.5 million.
$5.5 million.
A lot of money.
On the final thing was the Texans beating the Bengals on that.
I think that was it.
At the kick at the buzzer. Yeah. I think.
Can you imagine dropping $500,000 on a bet?
That's crazy.
So you got to be filthy rich if you're betting that much.
Rich.
When you win like that much money, don't they take like taxes out of that?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do get taxed on.
You know, rich people don't pay taxes.
Anything in the state of
$5.99, right?
anything in the state of Ohio over $25,000 is taxable on winnings and earnings.
Oh, okay.
So if I win, if I took $10 and flipped it to $24,000, I get the whole $24,000.
Sounds like it.
Guess so.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Or if you have, an LLC.
I'm about to throw a Hail Mary bet in.
Wow, that's good for him, man.
Grab your LLC and write it off.
That's great. That's great. That's not easy to do.
No, it's a hell of a parlay, and shout out to Pickle Nick for winning. In some Browns news, though, we heard Deshaun Watson had to undergo some MRIs on his left ankle, which he injured in the comeback win over Baltimore. We're still awaiting the exact test results on that MRI, but it made me think, because Deshaun told reporters after the game on Sunday, I'll be fine for Pittsburgh. I'm good.
Yeah.
But he also said that against Baltimore in Week 4, and we all know how that turned out. So is this ankle injury, which doesn't appear to be too serious, at least from what we know now, a big concern, no concern, minor concern as we get ready for Pittsburgh?
I think that it's a minor concern because he was able to play this game with it.
Yeah, but you know how that goes.
True.
It doesn't swell till you take off the cleat and the tape.
That's true. But the difference between this and the shoulder is he need to throw with his shoulder.
Sure.
This, he can just stand in the pocket. Now,
he needs to run.
True. He needs to be mobile a little bit, but he was still able to get things done. I think in the first half is when he hurt it, and he was limping around and all of that. Second half, he got taped up or whatever.
I saw
he did.
the replay.
And
he got rolled up pretty good.
Yeah, he did. And then on the game-winning drive, he actually scrambled for like a 12-yard run. Or 16. Yeah. So he used
that was probably one of the biggest plays of the game.
Exactly. So that adrenaline pumping, I think he'll be able to get through it. Like I say, he's gonna definitely be in that ice tub all week. It's not gonna feel good anyway, but I think it's not bad enough that he won't.
Have you ever had a high ankle?
I've never had a high ankle, but I've had some serious ankle sprains before.
Those are nagging because if you have weak ankles, you're susceptible to them. And once you do it once, the tissue in there gets a little soft, and you're more likely to do it over and over and over again.
I'm 0% worried about him not playing this
I think
game.
I am too.
Yeah. I'm minorly worried about it affecting him.
How he'll play, right?
Yeah, I mean, it could, but I'd say minorly because because he played through it, yes, you're right. Once the game's over, it stiffens up a little bit, and then you deal with the realities of what happened, as opposed to in the moment of the game, you're playing on the momentum and the energy. But I don't know. I feel really optimistic about things right now, and everybody with the Browns seems to be poo-pooing it. But like Mike said, and it's fair, they poo-pooed everything. But at the moment, I'm going minor concern about his effectiveness. Minor concern.
I'm with you.
Listen, man. You remember in Dragon Ball Z, they was on Planet Namek, and Goku was facing
Greek to me
Frieza
right now.
So Goku and Frieza is going back at it, right? And Goku finally goes Super Saiyan. He plays through all his pains and injuries, and he's out here killing Frieza. He ends up defeating him with one of the best spirit bombs of all time, and one of the greatest
Does Deshaun have a
arts.
spirit bomb?
What we have given him our spirit.
Can he get one? We
We
can send
have
him one.
loaned. Yes, we have
Here we go.
loaned.
He gets
loaned-
Spirit bomb.
Spirit bomb.
DW4.
There it is. There it is.
Spirit
Spirit bomb to DW4.
Spirit bombs.
Now, by
Now I'm
the
0%.
way, that's going to break records. If you didn't know, you didn't get no Dragon Ball Z reference, and we all lend our energy.
They don't know what a spirit bomb is. That's when he throw the hands up and the ball get real big, and then he throw
no
it.
idea what you're talking
When
about.
you
wow.
So they say, G. Bush, what the hell are you talking about again? Once again, what are you doing? Once we've seen him play through the shoulder and the ankle, he is now him when it comes to injuries. Nothing phases him. We have now seen lacerated kidney Deshaun Watson, ankle Deshaun Watson, torn ACLs, but I still play Deshaun Watson. He invoked the spirit of the Alabama Deshaun Watson when Alabama couldn't tackle him.
Right.
He just had to glow.
Right.
Every time they had him in the rights,
He
he
had the
moves
cheat
around, cheat code, throwing the ball, doesn't look that athletic, but always getting away. He is now showing us what he's made of. Look at that kneeling pose right there. It's over. We ain't worried about no ankle. Ankle? He'd have to break his leg for him not to play. Again, in this game against the Steelers?
I feel like you could be spitting in the face of karma right now. Because I feel like at 12:30 it's going to come out, oh, he's got a high ankle sprain 2 to 4 weeks. Let's not go that far where you're like, he's indestructible.
There's this done. In your heart, in his heart, he knows there is no way I cannot play this game.
There's no stopping him now.
There's no way I cannot play this game.
And I'll tell you something. There's been plenty to criticize Deshaun Watson about for the last couple of years. His play until recently has not been great. The off-the-field stuff, people feel how they feel. I'm not going to tell anybody how they have to feel about all that situation. You want to be critical there, that's up to you. Your choice. But when Hanford Dixon, when Brady Quinn, there's a third former player, I can't remember now who said
LeVar Arrington?
LeVar Arrington, thank you. When LeVar
Arrington
and many fans took a shot at him because he's an easy target. We get it. He's an easy target. And there are some things that are fair. But to question a guy's toughness, who in the past had shown a lot of toughness, and who has played with a bad shoulder and hurts his knee or his ankle, and he's playing again, the first half was not very good. But he played great in the second half.
That's the best half he's played.
He's the best half, and he's playing tough, and he's playing through injuries. There's no excuses here. He doesn't play well. I'm not giving him a pass.
Nope.
He played well. And for people to question his toughness, say he doesn't want to play, I think that was really weak. And I think for that, people owe him apologies.
I agree with that.
I don't know
Especially
how
the friendly fire from Hanford Dixon.
Ridiculous.
I just don't know how they came up to that conclusion.
I don't either.
Because this is the
Especially
same.
a former player.
No, but even I'm a former player, and I didn't even question his toughness.
I know, but
this
it's one
guy
thing for
literally
Joe Six-Pack on his couch to say, sack up and get in there.
Right.
But
a guy like Hanford Dixon, who was fortunate with health in his career, but missed games due to injury,
Come on, man.
if anyone should know, it's the former players.
Jay, the man went out. He went back and played in the game. He had no business playing in
Of course
because he
he did.
wanted to play.
Right.
He looked terrible.
And that should question or
That's why
answer
I'm
any
like,
questions
That's right.
about his
what are you
toughness.
talking about? He just tried to play when he knew he wasn't healthy enough to play.
Tyvus, before he got into the gaming industry, if this is how much former players want to play. If you would mention the NFL to Tyvus about a year ago, he would be almost in tears.
You said today.
He's like, y'all have dreams of like playing again, and you watch his games, and he probably thinks he still could play. I'm like, I could have made that play.
I'm telling you.
Every former player remembers the days they played, and those are the best days of your life. you only got a certain amount of them, whether you played in high school.
I don't know about best day. Best days of your life is when you have kids and get married.
There it is.
Professionally.
His wife and kids are watching, so that's a brilliant answer.
That's a brilliant. His wife. Yeah, shout out to your wife. Her birthday's coming up. Shout
Happy
out to
birthday.
the Scorpios. Anybody out there? But Tyvus, come on, you know good and well. Every player. No, it doesn't matter about the money, right? Like that's like saying, Jay. Say Jay's good. Jay's the man. Like that's like saying he want to ride off into the sunset on the boat. Ain't no riding off the sunset for Jay no boat. He gonna be doing this forever. If not, listen, if it ain't here,
you love what you do. It's not a job.
It ain't here. It's gonna be in the front lawn cutting grass with one of his neighbors,
Facts.
or one of his buddies down the street at the post office having a whole TV show. So just talking for hours.
Probably be at a barbershop.
Probably, right?
That's what old men do. They hang out at the barbershop.
Don't get up and start going to McDonald's at 5 a.m.
Oh
No.
Or
eating dinner at 4 p.m.
Right.
Like that's when you got one more grade.
You're done.
Mashed potato special.
And whatever you do, don't order a Jazzy.
Oh,
Because the second you put your seat on that Jazzy, they're writing your death certificate, so it's done in time.
Beginning of the end. Right
That
there.
is the beginning of the
dang,
end.
man, you eating coffee with war vets, Jay? You drinking coffee? Like, they be at 4 o'clock with a newspaper. I'm like, where do they even print the plain dealer? How did you get that?
Jay wearing
Oh, my God.
suspenders with no shirt above it.
Wow.
Wow.
That's funny.
That's going to be me,
That's
definitely.
fun.
That's when you really give up.
That was a home run.
That's so funny.
That is so. I don't think I've no concern at all
Yeah.
that it's going to keep him out. My only fear, because I'm a Browns fan, so I always have to be like, what can I worry about? My only worry is that it will hamper a little bit. It's funny, Joe Burrow up until this last week, and he didn't, he wasn't the reason they lost. I don't think.
No.
But Joe
Tyler
Burrow
Boyd is.
was such a shell of himself the first 3 games.
Yeah.
And you're reminded of that when he came back healthy.
Right.
It didn't take much to knock him off from 100 to a 80.
Right.
Just one bum wheel.
Yeah.
And that's why my hope is for Deshaun, it doesn't limit his mobility. The run option for him is the reason he's the player he is. If you took that away,
Sure.
he would not be the same player.
Not
so
just,
I'm hoping that he
right.
keeps that.
Not just running, but just being mobile within the pocket.
Sure,
Certainly
sliding
help
up,
him.
moving
Yeah.
back, whatever. On the
100%.
16-yard run, that was the biggest play of the game in my
Yeah.
view. He initially just slid a little bit in the pocket, and then he saw the lane and took it.
Yeah.
But with a bum ankle, can he do that? I don't know.
We'll see.
The biggest play of the game was the offensive line pushing Jerome.
You're right. That
forward.
was big too.
Well, there were
Hold
so
on,
many.
But to me, the 16-yard pickup put them into position to now win.
Well,
the
What
game.
about
Wyatt
that
Teller
throw?
landing on the fumble?
That was a big one too.
David Njoku taking Geno Stone and throwing him down the field 11 yards.
Or the throw that he made to Amari Cooper. It's third. It's
Second
like
and
second
19.
and
Second and
19.
19.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And he threw a
You know,
dart.
I think this exercise shows this, and this is what makes me so happy about Sunday's win. Oftentimes in defeat, you can point to one play. But in victory, there are so many little stones that fell perfectly in place.
Yep.
What tells me that we're watching a culture change with this team didn't do things like that in the past. This team
Right.
found a way to not make a play.
Yes. Well,
and-
just one of those,
Yes.
and they lose the game.
And Jay, to address what you said, listen, all Browns fans are scarred by the harrowing losses of the past.
You're right.
That's never going to go away unless the Browns win a Super Bowl, right? Never fully go away unless the Browns win a Super Bowl. However, we were talking about this a little bit yesterday, and I just wanted to follow up on it because I wonder if we have to some degree, stop saying, oh, the Browns never win games like this, because they won that Niner game like this. They won
No,
that Colts game like this.
This year, they're winning games like that.
Exactly.
In the past, they did not.
Exactly. And there were so many moments in this game in particular that you could have easily thought, here we go again.
Listen, I did think that
Yes.
in the first half, on the very first play of the game.
Of course.
I didn't even have my beer at the bar that we were drinking. We went to a Browns backers bar to watch
Yeah.
the first half. It wasn't even on the table yet. It was 7-0.
Right.
You're right. Oh, yeah.
And we all looked at each other and we said, well, of course.
And it was 14. It was really
14
14
nothing.
blink.
That's so funny because it's so many times this season. This is how you know it's different there. And like I say, y'all, you got to give credit where credit's due. Juan Thornhill, you definitely said that things is going to be different this year. But this is the part that gets me. It's been so many times this season where I was like, that is the most Browns thing.
Browns be Brownsing.
But for some odd reason, they overcome it all the time.
And
they've been overcoming
and that's because the culture has changed.
And by the way, you just mentioned the first half stuff. In the fourth quarter, right? In the fourth quarter, James Prochet fumble.
Yep.
And you're thinking,
So
that's
the
final
Brown. That's the
nail.
most Browns thing that can happen.
Browns be Browns.
Then in that ensuing drive, twice they extended that drive by penalty,
Right.
which eventually led to the touchdown.
Then you get the pick six, and he misses the
And
field goal.
they missed the extra point.
Oh
That
my
felt
God!
That's like the most Browns thing.
The extra point,
Because we finally had put good kicker into the category
Right.
of no more worries.
And then he misses the
And
extra
then he
point.
misses the biggest kick of the game.
And then even though nothing bad came out of it because it wasn't against the Browns, but the penalty on the final field goal.
Made your heart stop,
You're
right?
like, oh no, I said, oh no, this is how it happens.
Yeah.
I said, this is how it happens.
See? You're
And-
conditioned.
Yes.
What's funny for me, and I think a
Browns
lot of
be
other
Browns,
fans
dude.
of the Browns,
Yeah.
I'm also a fan of Ohio State. And it's so funny how the trajectory of those two teams is a complete dichotomy of one another. One is always finding ways to win games and always in the thick of it at the end.
Yeah.
And the other is never.
Right.
So I can juxtapose my fandom between those two, and you're absolutely right. I watch Browns games completely different.
Right,
When
right.
I watch Ohio State games and something bad happens, I'm like, they got this. That's okay.
That's nothing.
You
That's
expect
right.
them to pull it out.
You
to
expect
find a
them
way.
because you've been conditioned as a fan that they always do. The Notre Dame game earlier this year.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was over.
Right.
That game was over.
They should not have won that game.
And they
yeah.
somehow pulled out the miracle to win the game. And that's the difference of watching Ohio State football and Browns football.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, Bull, the more they do this,
Right.
the more they win games that they are not supposed to win. Or at least games that in the past they would have lost. Because I don't
Right.
want to say they weren't supposed to win Sunday.
Well,
I think they were.
I mean, they were
But
a 10-point dog to the Niners and a 6.5-point dog to the Ravens. So,
two of the best teams in the NFL right now.
well, in fact,
And we've beaten both.
At the time the Browns played the Niners, we all thought the Niners were the best team in football.
We did.
At the time the Browns played the Ravens last Sunday, we all thought the Ravens were the best team in
So
football.
there you go.
So there you go.
There you go.
So, but let me ask you how far you personally have come. Right now, without thinking about it, do you expect the Browns to win this week?
Yes, absolutely.
There you go.
I absolutely
Yes.
do.